Hello everybody, my name is Neapolitan, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the symbolism in Final Fantasy VII Remake's intro. So for the intro, I'm only going to be discussing from like the very beginning to like the start of the action when the soldiers start walking around. The rest of it is just like deep diving into the actual story rather than the significance. So what is an intro, you could ask? Well, introduction is essentially what's going to tell you what the story is going to be about. And the introduction of Final Fantasy VII Remake is phenomenal at telling you exactly what to expect, as well as alluding into what the actual story is or was. So, of course, because I'm deep diving into this, there's going to be a lot of discussion about spoilers and the like, so if you are not comfortable with such a thing as spoilers, or you're waiting for all of the parts to be released before you start playing, I advise you not to watch this until you're already into the game and starting through your journey. So if you haven't clicked out, let's roll into this. So, at the beginning, you see black, and then you see clouds. Immediately, we're talking about the main character, which is Cloud. We see a desert, because that's where Cloud was left off. Now, immediately you see what appears to be an eagle. This eagle symbolizes Cloud himself. So, there's three main characters in this story. Cloud, of course, which is our protagonist. He's our eyes and ears in this world, as well as we play him throughout, as well as we experience this world through Cloud. The other main characters are Sephiroth and Aerith. So Sephiroth, if you don't know, is the big daddy. He is effectively what I would say is the heavens. The reason I say that is because for his name, it's derived from Sephiroth, which is effectively the channels of divine creative life force or consciousness through which the unknowable divine essence is revealed to mankind. Immediately you have a tie to the heavens, you have separate parts, which becomes super important later in the game, but it also is, on a personal level, the Sephiroth are also an energy centering in our own bodies and emotions. This is going to be important because we see Sephiroth's connection to Cloud through emotions and how he interacts with the world, specifically Aerith. That being said, of course, Aerith is able to speak with the world, or hear the world specifically, unlike Barrett, who says that he can, but he can't, because Aerith actually is connected to this world. And they even made her name very similar to Earth. That's why there's the TH. And unfortunately, for everybody that loves the name Aerith, her name is Aerith, because of this. So we have the heavens, the earth, and what's in between, and Cloud is the in-between. He is our variable in this case because he has both ties to the heavens and to the earth. Similar to an eagle, who can, of course, walk on the earth, but usually he's kind of in between, right? So, another thing to think about is a eagle is a usually a solo hunter, as well as they're known for, like, being a proud bird, but they're also a bird of prey. So because he's a soldier, he's trained how to fight, he knows his way around a battlefield, very much like an eagle. So an eagle is a perfect depiction of Cloud, and we see this eagle go into the city, much like Cloud enters Midgar once again. So, once again, this is an amazing depiction of what's happening in the actual story through this bird coming into the city, just like our protagonist. One could also say that smoke is what we're actually seeing through all the pollution, the dirtiness of the city. Smoke also very much looks like a cloud, so it's kind of touching on the fact that Cloud is not necessarily pure and can be created through impurities in the air, as well as the bad that the world can do. We see a lot of muck and grime. We see kids playing in dangerous areas, but a key thing of note is the plant that they show here. This plant is obviously dying, much like the world is, because they're sucking the Mako energy out of it. So we see lots of dead plants. We see, like, no greenery, no life. They're in the middle of a desert. But we also hear a tone change in the music as we go to the children, who are playing in a very dirty, rusty park. Like, you can see rust on the benches. The slide has definitely been worn and been there for a really long time. But where do they turn to? They turn to the Mako reactor. So that shows you just how much influence this Mako reactor has on the entire environment around it. And of course, it shoots out into the sky and we see stars. Now, this, of course, is connecting the Earth to the heavens, and now it's bringing itself back down to Aerith. So Aerith here is actually talking to the Earth through the Mako, but you see what was Mako turned to stars, but the stars turn back to Mako, showing this alien side of Aerith in this moment as she's communing to the Earth. Obviously, what she's hearing from the Earth isn't good because she's a little bit jumpy. She jumps at the nearest sound and feels unsafe. You can see from her body language that she's very uncomfortable, and she runs away. Now, it could be potentially that she doesn't want people to know that she's communing to the Earth, but regardless, we see the flowers. So what she has here is a rose and Easter lilies. This flower represents her herself, and it's called an Easter lily because of its connection to Christianity and the story of Jesus and the sacrifice for other people, which is exactly what Aerith ends up doing in the original story. Similar to Aerith, she was destroyed in the process, which effectively is what's being said here with this lily. The white lily symbolizes purity, rebirth, new beginnings, and hope. So it also means a destruction of her hope for a new future, as she sees a future based off of her powers. And she looks very determined. She looks like, I'm done with the story that has been told. I want something more. So we now lift ourselves back up into the sky. Not the heavens, not the stars, but the sky, because that is where her hope is, and it's within Cloud. And we see, like, all of this city in order to, like, of course, show us the city, but also to symbolize that her hope is going out into the sky, into Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is amazing. And immediately we start snapping back to the physical manifestation of this hope for Aerith, which is our buddy Cloud here. Our eagle friend. There's not much to say about the train or any of the following thing, as it is bringing us from the introduction, which gives us an idea of what the world is, and brings us back into the action of the current state of the world right now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis or would like to see more in the future, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. Bye!